चिली चिकन एम्बुलेंस की फोटो निकालने का क्या 5 स्टार एकदम.
No, I want real India. Poor people, hungry people.
ये आका नूडल तुम लोग साला बाहर गांव से आते हैं तो तुम लोग को यहाँ खाली भूखे नंगे दिखाई देते क्या? You don't see ताजमहल?
No, hungry and poor man.
The scene that you just saw was from the 2003 Hindi film Munna Bhai MBBS. What connection does this scene have with the Oscars? That we'll discuss later. First, let's look at some statistics. If you look at the list of films submitted by India for the Oscars, you will see that none of the films in the last 65 years has won. Not only that, but only 3 of them got nominated. What seems to be the problem? I can think of 2 reasons. One is that Oscar doesn't think good films are made in India. If that's the case, then there is nothing we can do. Another possible reason is that the people who choose the film as India's official selection for the Oscars are making the same mistake every year because they're picking the wrong film. In my opinion, latter is the case. Why is that? What does India's official entry mean? The film that will represent India. Currently, India's population is around 138 crores. Meanwhile, the number of people picking the right film for the Oscar is merely 17. What's so great about these 17 people that make them worthy to rightly represent 138 crore Indians? Let's assume that they are worthy, and when they saw the film last film show, they were awestruck and that's why they picked this film. In that case, it should be called Film Federation of India's official entry for the Oscars, not India's official entry. At this point, you might be wondering, why am I criticizing this film? I can't. That's another problem. I've not watched this film. It's ironic that the film is India's official entry and yet no audience in India has watched that film before selecting it for Oscars. At least release the film in the theatres, let the audience watch it, judge, and then decide whether this film deserves to go for the Oscars. Let's drop this conversation. What's done is done. Let's talk about something else. Why are Oscar awards given? One is to celebrate the good job done by the filmmakers and the team. Other than that, when films get nominated or win an Oscar, they become popular and hence more general audience watch those films. This applies to categories like Best Film, Best Director and Best Actor. But the same is not the case with the Best Foreign Film. If its purpose was to celebrate the best films of the world, then why is it a rule that every country can submit only one film? If there are 2-3 good films made that year, then why not send all and let the Oscar jury decide if one of them or all 3 are worthy to be nominated? The reason for this one nation, one film practice is that when a foreign film wins an Oscar, the general world not only watches the winning film, but also their attention is drawn towards the other good products of that film industry. The win also draws attention to that country, to its culture. For example, when the Korean film Parasite won an Oscar, more people around the world started watching Korean films and series. That's why the show Squid Game suddenly got so popular. This is why I say the films that go to the Oscars from India should represent India rightly. Now let's talk about the scene I put at the beginning of this video. Even today, when people of the world are asked about India, their perception is that India is a place of poor people and hungry people. One reason is that the most popular Indian known around the world is Mahatma Gandhi. Further, his portrayal is that of a weak, skinny, old and poor person who has no money to wear proper clothes. Now you might think I am wrong to say this. In that case, just look at this cartoon. This was published in the New York Times in 2014. This proves that even today, people of the world consider Indians to be poor farmers walking around with a cow. This is why I feel the perception of the world towards India has to change and we Indians have to change it. To some extent, RRR did that when they didn't portray India as poor and weak. They showed the truth and greatness of a quote-unquote third world country, India. This is the purpose of the foreign film nomination category at the Oscars. If you think I should not shove politics in the films, then think again. In today's day and age, like always, there's politics, geopolitics everywhere, be it social media, movies, or Olympics. These are the reasons why I feel that the film sent to the Oscars by India doesn't matter if it wins or not, it should portray the greatness of India on the big screen. And at least release the film in theatres prior to selecting it and ask Indians whether this film truly deserves to go for the Oscars. The current procedure of letting some random 17 people decide India's official entry is just wrong. At least have 170 or 1700 people on the jury panel for the judgment to be fair. If we Indians don't bring this change, then I believe that India will never win an Oscar. Finally, I congratulate the filmmakers, cast and crew of Last Film Show movie and pray that you not only get nominated but also win the Oscar. But if that does not happen, we Indians must seriously consider bringing some significant change in the Film Federation of India, the organization that picks the film that goes for Oscars. Thank you.